Okay, Gypsy has come back to join us. Hopefully she'll cooperate, or she will go outside again. She's here to say hi. She loves doing math problems by the fire, as you can tell. But hopefully she'll let us work this time and not go too crazy. All right, if you take a look at 7.6, some of this should be review. You know how to get these lines on the graph. So let's take a look at our first example. It says graph a system of two linear inequalities. And all we're going to do is put those graphs on the line. Now, I've got one of these little nifty graph boards. And so if you look at the first one, we have x plus y is less than or equal to 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that on our graph. But first I have to change this so that it is y equals mx plus b. I'm going to move the x to over here, and I'm going to have y equals negative x. That means I have a negative slope plus 3. Now, I can also put this back in. I can put my inequality sign in. That's going to be important in just a few minutes. But what is my y-intercept? My y-intercept is going to be 3. Here is the 3. When x is 0, y equals 3. What is my slope? Well, it's negative 1, so we're going to move over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, and I end up with a line. Not too bad. And now I have to look at my inequality sign. Because if my inequality sign has the inequality and the line under it, I need a solid line. If it doesn't, then I need the dotted line. So if I look, I do see that it does have the line underneath it. So this is what my line should look like. Now, some of you got this part confused on the test, so I need for you to pay attention. The next thing we want to do is go back to the original equation. And we want to find a point, and I always choose 0 and 0 to plug in for the x and y. So I'm going to plug 0 and 0 in. So I'm going to have 0 plus 0, obviously equals 0, is less than or equal to 3. Is that a true statement? Yes, it is. That means that this point works. So I'm going to shade it. Now this would be helpful if I had different colors, which I don't have in front of me, but I have shaded this. Now, here comes the next part that we haven't done already. We're going to put another line on there and shade that one, and we're going to look for where they overlap. So the next line is, let me just erase this board. The next line that I have is x plus 4y is greater than or equal to 0. Again, is it ready to go on the graph? No, it is not. I got to move this guy. Negative x, negative x. And I'm going to end up with 4y is greater than or equal to negative x plus 0. And I do like to keep that 0 there just to remind me of kind of where I am on the graph. So I still have one thing that I have to do. I have to divide, which this is going to give me negative 1 over 4x. And this is going to be 0. I'm just going to leave that 0 there. So what is my y-intercept? Well, it's 0. When x equals 0, y also equals 0. Here's where that's going to be. 0, 0. Now, my slope, we're going to go over 1. We're going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4. And I end up with my line. Now, you probably are looking for something to intersect. You probably are looking for them to be close. Probably not parallel lines at this point, but maybe. So this next line here, I'm also going to choose the 0, 0 to plug it in. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to plug in 0, 0 plus 0, because I'm going to plug 0 in here to x, a 0 in here for y, I'm going to end up with all zeros across the board. 0 plus 0 is greater than or equal to 0. How do you like my assistant? And so that actually works. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to shade on this side because the 0 works. And my answer is all of this piece that is overlapping. Now, it looks like I did something wrong on mine. Maybe it's because I flipped it up the wrong way.